I certainly wouldn't say bite indication is something that I pay a massive amount of attention to for the majority of the time, but there are definitely times where bite indication has to become like right up there with the most important things. But for 99% of my fishing, which is your generic sort of open water type stuff, it's important to me, but it's not top of the list of priorities. I use tight lines in a couple of situations. Firstly, zig fishing. I use them all the time. If I'm zigging, I use as tight a line as I can possibly get away with. And when I'm fishing extreme range as well, you know, if you're fishing a really long way out, you need to have a heavy bobbin on and you need to have a tight line. Because of this, particularly with mono, there's so much stretch in that, you know, if you're fishing a really long way out, you've got a lot of mono out and it's fish slack, the fish can go a long way, all sorts can happen before it's going to register on the alarm. You know, what is happening is so far away from the alarm, and like I say, with things like stretch, you need to know straight away. So a tight line, nice heavy bobbin, that way as soon as anything happens, you're going to know about it, and particularly braid. You know, if you've used braid before, you'll know what I mean, but the sensitivity with braid is much better than it is with mono. So if you're going to fish at long range, tight lines, braided main line ideally, and a heavier bobbin as well. Semi-slack line. Sometimes I fish a semi-slack line in just a generic fishing situation. You know, if there's a lot of weed between me and the spot, I never fish too slack. Like the lake I'm at today, there is weed between me and where I'm fishing, so I'm fishing a semi-slack line. The bobbin is on the floor, but the line's quite tight really. You know, it's sunk just down to touch the bottom. It's not bowstring tight, it's not super slack, it's in between. So the line's laying over the weed as well as it can, in a straight line to the spot. So there's no, you know, I straighten my line really well. So we've got direct line to the spot, and the line is fished semi-slack, just enough to sit over the top of the weed and out of harm's way. But at the same time, as soon as the lead moves, so will the bobbin. Snag fishing as well. So if you're fishing tight to some branches and you've already got the bobbin jammed up to the top, you've got a super tight line, if the fish moves away from you, the bobbin isn't actually going to do a lot. It's already at the top, so it can't really do anything. So if you're snag fishing, you want to have the bobbin set, I'd say around 1 inch or 2 inches back. So you want to start with the line tight, just very gently let a little bit of line out until you've got that bobbin set, like I say, 1 inch, 2 inches beneath the plank. And what that means is, as soon as the fish moves either 1 inch forwards or 1 inch backwards, the bobbin has got enough room to do so. And the stows are great for that. Particularly, you know, I've used them a lot when snag fishing, and because they're so sensitive, they grab the line. The minute that lead moves, the stow will go up or it will go down. And like I say, in that situation, that's really important. You'll get an indication as quickly as possible. There's loads of different types of bobbins out there, you know, come in all different shapes and sizes. In the last few years, I've been using the stows a hell of a lot. You know, there's no denying that as far as bite indication goes, they're right up there with the very best. You know, the way the bobbin grabs the line, as soon as the line moves, so does the bobbin, and you know, you can't better that. So they're fantastic, but I've always preferred, you know, like a white bobbin head with a chain. It's quite a long chain, 6 or 9 inches, anything around that, just for ease of use really. You know, like I say, it's not been a huge priority of mine unless I'm snag fishing or zigging, and I do find that regardless of what you are doing, as long as you've got a decent bobbin and a decent alarm and the rod set up right, you know, the line lays right, you're going to get a great bite indication. When choosing a bobbin, which one am I going to use? Just whichever you find the easiest and the most enjoyable to use. I think without a doubt, one of the most important things to consider when you talk bite indication is actually your line lay. You know, if your line lay is bad, your bite indication will be bad. Now, when I cast out, I always try and sink my line in the most direct line as I can from the lead to my rod tip. So I don't want it sinking in a bow. I want to correct my line before it has a chance to sink. And that basically, as I'm correcting it, you'll see it tightening up across the surface. Once it straightens up, then the rod tip's down, and I want to sink the line in as straight as possible. Oh, there's a bite. Oh. Well, what a way to have your chat about bite indication ruined. Get in. Oh, yes. Oh, he's long. Jesus. Oh my God. Woo-hoo. Oh my, look at you. Oh. Right, well here's the first one. I reckon he's 15, 16 pounds. I'll tell you what, this is so much smaller than the one in the net, so I'm really, really excited about getting that thing out, because not only is it awesome, but it's certainly a very big fish as well. So, let's get this one back and get that big bad boy out. Right, well, enough about bite indication. Let's all take a minute or two out of our lives to appreciate this absolutely beautiful carp. Look how dark it is. Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm absolutely over the moon with this. Right, we're going to have to call it a day after that fish, which has blown my mind a little bit. I still can't get over how nice that carp was. I've got a lot of commons, but that takes a biscuit as far as the best looking ones I've ever caught goes, for sure. So, to summarise, basically, if you're snag fishing, bite indication should be your most important thing, along with the fact you're using sensible tackle. When you're zig fishing, bite indication is crucial. You need to be able to register those funny bites. And for any other type of fishing, you know, all your generic sort of normal days carp fishing, as long as you've got a decent bobbin, decent alarms and a good line lay, you'll be well away. So that's about it, all covered, all done and dusted. I'm going to kick back, enjoy the rest of the evening and celebrate that lovely fish.